How did you develop the style that we came to know Busy as? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna run these words like this and incorporate this harmony? Where did that come from? Like, what gave you that idea?
Man, I always been like a musician. Um, it started off with mimicking, being able to mimic voices, and then listening to the radio and hearing music, and then being able to mimic those voices, and then the feeling behind it. So that's kind of like what cultivated me as a musician, like on some infant status, like 2 and 3 when you first start talking and shit. Um, And then, before I met my boys and shit, in and out of, different young boys' homes and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And foster homes, this, that, and the other. I started like honing my rap skills. And like then I incorporated my singing ability in it. And like my very first record, I was 10, 11 years old, it was bass and treble. And on the bass side, it was rapping. And on the treble side, it was harmonizing. And then, we fast forwarded, I say about 7 years. Not even that far. I say about 4 years. I met like 15 years old. I met Craig and I met Lay. First I met Lay. And like I was in the ninth grade. And I met, I think I was like 14 years old. So maybe only 3 years from that first record. So I met Lay and he introduced me to Cray. And then we started, before we formed a group, once we found out we could all do music. And then we formed a bond and a friendship after that. Like kicking it, young and shit, drinking beer and shit, selling dope and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because that's what was going on in the late 80s, early 90s. All young motherfuckers, parents and homes was fucked up. And had drugs that just came in and destroyed shit. So we were like the city of God, man, just young ass niggas with guns, selling drugs, trying to get by, refrigerators empty, for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? As motherfuckers get older, they don't want to really reveal certain shit. But so from that point on, we began to hone our skills. And eventually Craig goes to jail. And he, like, when he went to jail and he came home, he had this new way of, because he was listening to some nigga not some nigga, a legend on the radio, Big Daddy Kane, the legendary Big Daddy Kane. And he heard a line or some shit. And so he came with a fast rap. And then before that, Lay did something that was hyping them up and striking them up and giving them what they like. So when he, like, that was before Cray even wrote it. So it was just all stars was aligned, man. From the bass and the treble to what Lay was adding in to what Cray did. It was inching towards that particular speed part, but the harmony was already there. The rhythm was already there to be able to ride a beat that was already there. So it was already there.
Yeah. What were some of your early musical influences? Because I know, like, we about the same age, and I grew up on Cameo, Confunction, and all that good shit. What was it? The same thing in your house?
Yeah, man, like Motown, of course. Lionel Richie, Commodores, way, way, way back when I was mimicking voices. So those kind of tunes at 3, 2, 3, 4, like honed my skills to be able to hold notes and shit. I've been a musician like all my life since a young cat.
Yeah. When did you
Um,
discover that you could sing?
when I was mimicking voices, like
What voices were you mimicking?
this radio personality out of Ohio, out of Ohio, like Wild Man Jack, and he had this real deep, 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 deep voice, and it was like real scratchy, and my voice was naturally high. So as I'm as I'm doing that, like I'm starting to realize like my throat hurt, you know. So I started just like recognizing vocal cords and shit like that. And always been an insightful cat. You know what I mean? Music is just in my blood, it's in my bone. And what I found out from my mom is it's a reason for that too when I was in her womb. You know what I mean? And certain travels and journeys that she took from New York, you know what I'm saying, from Brooklyn all the way out to here. You know what I mean? So I kind of learned, you know, you learn where you from, man, and you want to know where you get it from. You know what I mean? And man, I know exactly where I get it from the womb. You know me? But Motown. So Motown, I listen to Motown, the DOC. I was really I loved what he was doing when he first came out. Rakim, by far, I got snuck a mixtape by my homie, rest in peace, Donald Case, was a DJ back in the days. This is before I met Bone. So these were my influences. And then when you go to Cleveland, their radio station is completely different. Their radio station is probably one of the old school radio station. It was everything, man. It was everything. It was Cameo, man. It was Midnight Star. It was True. It was New Edition, of course, but they didn't play just the crossover artists in our genre that we love. Like it wasn't just New Edition. It wasn't just, you know what I mean? They played the motherfucking black owned record company shit, the shit that, you feel what I mean? Like when motherfuckers didn't have much and it was like all heart and it was, you know, real artists, man, motherfuckers that don't have a pension. And that remind me of what Mr. Robinson wanted to do for those kind of artists. But anyway, yeah, so that was the music, man, that I listened to. I still listen to this shit. I don't want to go too off subject, but that was definitely it.
So Bizzy, with Bizzy's voice, so would that be considered a falsetto?
Yeah, I think I would consider it falsetto, second soprano. You
And
know,
how did you master the bravado, the bravado, vibrato? Was that something that you were taught, or was that something that you just had naturally? Because
no, I've been honing it for a while. You know, practice make perfect, and the things you love to do, and the things you without even thinking it's gonna get you any money, just because expressing yourself, like you're really practicing, you really tuning up, you tuning your instrument up and stuff. So yeah, man, that basically everything that you said, man, just tuning it up. And like it's different when you're on a microphone and projecting your voice than it is when you're not on a microphone live, and then even studio. It's a real art form to this music, you know, and auto-tune make it easier for these niggas. But it's it's difficult because you have three different sets of artistry. You have the, you know, the studio, like I was saying, and you have the live, and then you have just the with nobody in the room, like right now, how you and me are. So yeah, man. So I learned how to control it and flip it for each thing. Like what I do in the studio now, how I make it sound that way on the microphone ain't the same way.
yeah, that
Yeah.
vibrato shit is hard. I ain't been able to master it in my years. You know what I mean? That's a whole fucking. I've always been fascinated by motherfuckers who had that good bravado shit. Vibrato, you know, like Whitney used to do it so fucking good. Her fucking mouth, the bottom of her mouth would quiver. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I always felt like you had a good ass voice. Did you ever want to just completely sing? Did you ever consider like fuck it? I know I can rap. Everybody know that, but I'm gonna do a whole fucking R&B or whatever gospel, whatever you felt at that time, but sing.
I think that was when my first record came into play, like the um the bass and the treble, because the treble part I was just singing, just slow songs, writing love songs to girls, you know, the shit you do when you're 11 and you 12, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so I don't know if I ever wanted to do it later on in my career because I kind of got a signature voice, and I've always been trying, like my whole mission in music is find your your levity, find your point to where you just your flow is just crazy. That eternal flow to where you got your everything under control as far as your voice, how you bring shit, and your flow is just crazy. So that's always been like my mission and shit.